What is up, guys? Welcome to the ThinkComputers weekly tech podcast. This is episode 234. This episode is brought to you by Amazon. If you go to thinkcomputers.org/Amazon and happen to purchase something, that of course gives us a little kickback and keeps the podcast ongoing. With me is my co-host Ryan. What's going on?
Oh, we're just chatting ahead of this, just so much stuff going on and work life and life in general, just busy.
I just came back from I went out to eat tonight. Okay. I went to Outback Steakhouse.
I haven't been doing outhouse.
You haven't been to an outhouse.
No.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
I hadn't had a
restaurants very often. Or when was the last time you ate it?
Mostly takeout.
Okay.
But they have been open for a little bit, but we've been kind of like, but it's like getting. I've really wanted a good steak lately. Mm-hmm. So like getting a steak delivered is just like weird.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
No.
So I wanted a steak, so we went there and we got steak. I think they're only doing 25% capacity. So we weren't super close to anybody. We obviously had to wear masks when we went in, but
yep.
It was my steak was delicious.
Good.
So I'm happy that I did that. But
yeah, I do lunch a lot out at work. So, same thing here. You got to wear a mask till you're seated, and they're not, I don't know what our capacity limits are or rules are, but I mean, tables are definitely spaced apart and everything.
So. Yeah, I think most places do a pretty good job. I don't think we've ever been somewhere where you're like,
never mind. We'll go somewhere else.
We'll go somewhere else. I don't think we've had that issue. But yeah, it was good. It was good to eat out, and obviously good to have like a good steak. You can't just,
you can make one yourself, right? But sometimes it's nice to just like sit down and like have someone make it for you.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem it's not as big of a problem, but we moved here not that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have my grill anymore.
Okay.
Can't have a grill here. And we have an electric stove, which isn't the same. Like I have a cast iron, but it's just not the same.
Yeah. See, I've never had a gas stove. I've always been electric. So
yeah. Omega Cypher's in the house in the live stream. So what is up, my man? And so that's I just came back from that. So I have my monster ready to podcast.
I know. I fell asleep as soon as I got home. Like I got the kids. I was like laying there. My wife was making dinner. I was like, "Do you need any help with anything?" She's like, "No, I got it." And I was like, "All right, I'm just gonna sit here in the chair." I was out.
Yeah, I took a hardcore nap yesterday, and I woke up and it was worse. Like I felt worse after my nap. Yeah, so it was bad. Yeah. But yeah, so let's get to tech, because obviously this is a tech podcast. For everybody that is in the live stream, you want to follow along with us, we do have our show notes, which are linked in the description of the video, which you guys can check out. But our full show notes will give you links to everything that we're talking about. So as we talk about it, you can go ahead and follow along with us. But our first review is by you, and it's a product that you're actually using right now. It is the Elgato Key Light Air, which is let us, since you reviewed it, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of mentioned this in the review, towards the end, but I'll bring it up here. Like a lot of times you'll hear in video production and podcast and just creation that audio is like number one, right? People would usually rather watch a kind of a crummy looking video, but as long as it has good audio, right? But usually the number two piece is, obviously good lighting outside of the content. And to get that good lighting, you have to have, or good video, you have to have good lighting. So that's where these key lights come into play, right? Elgato, as we know, is owned by Corsair now. They're the makers of the popular Stream Deck, capture cards, things like that. They've had their key lights, the larger versions, out for a while. And the key light airs have been around for a little while, but we were lucky enough to get a pair in from them. So here we are taking a look at them. The nice thing about them is they're super easy to use and set up. They're a super simple device. Like you're like, okay, it's a light. How like technical can this be? And that's kind of how I felt when I was writing it. And I kind of put that in there. It's like, well, it's a light and it turns on and it works. So how do you review that? Well, you do I look better on camera? Is it more detailed? Things like that. So build quality is super nice. They have a nice weighted base to them to hold them together. You do have to put them together, but it's super simple. And every component is just thought out really well. You have obviously your light panel here, which has 80 Osram LEDs in it, and those LEDs can adjust in both temperature and brightness, obviously. So you can get kind of those cool blues and more yellowish daytime glow type colors there. So super nice there. It attaches on the back via a standard 1/4-inch thread. So they obviously connect to the stand that they come with, but you could attach them to another mounting.
1/4-inch,
I guess.
mounting.
Yeah, 1/4-inch, whatever, a tripod, whatever the case may be. Yeah. So that's super common. Like I said, the weighted base keeps things in place. It's got a rubber grip on the bottom. The light itself and the pole is pretty light, so it doesn't take a whole lot to keep it in place, but super nice there. Telescoping pole, so you can loosen and tighten it to get the height that you need to adjust there. Some integrated cable routing on the back keeps it nice and clean. Just all around like nice things that are nice to have to keep things tidy. Goes together super easy. The ball and ball mount there you can see, and then the put together device there just kind of stands there. Obviously, this is without the cables. But the cool thing is these are wireless. So you download the Elgato Control Center application, add it, pair it up with your light, add it in there, and then you essentially have an app that allows you to turn the light on and off, adjust the color and the brightness. And I'll get to that here in a second. But there's my setup right now with one of the lights. I have this light here as my primary light right in front of me and above my camera. And then I actually have a second one off to the side to give a little bit of offsetting light to kind of separate me from my background. And we'll see the differences in those here in a second. Yeah, so this is the Control Center application, which really just allows you to control the lights on your computer. So as long as your computer is on the same network as the lights, you can control it via that application as well. And then you can obviously integrate it with the Stream Deck. So I have a button, really the only button I'm using with the Stream Deck and these lights is to turn them on and off. I'm not adjusting brightness or color during the stream. I don't have that use, right? My needs don't dictate that. So I just have that there, but it's super easy to just drag from the Control Center section over to a button and assign it, and you're good to go. Super easy. Like I said, it's a very simple product, but it definitely improves your quality. So this first image here is me sitting at my PC with just the glow of the PC illuminating me, right? It doesn't look great. Ignore the model, but it's just not good quality. So this is with one of the lights showing, and that's the main one above the camera. And then the second one here, it's not a huge difference, but especially along the right side of my face, it just separates a little, it's lit up a little better and just separates me from my background.
Nice.
But yeah, no, super impressed with it. A couple other glamour shots there. They're available, or their standard price is $130 for one of these. So it's, not a cheap light, but when you think about how easy it is to set up, add to your setup, the improvements it makes, and then the integrations, using either the Control Center app on a phone, on your PC, the Stream Deck integration, things like that, I think $130 is probably worth it. Because you start looking at other bigger soft boxes and nice lights from other companies, you're going to pay that or more.
Yeah, and the biggest thing I like is that you have something to turn them on or off very easily. And it's just like the mobile control that you have, you're obviously, like we're recording right now, you don't want to have to get up, go behind the light, either turn it on or off, or even adjust brightness up or down or color temperature. Yep. You have an app that can easily do that. Obviously, the integration with the Stream Deck is awesome as well.
Yeah. Because if you couldn't do that while you're sitting here, like watching yourself, you're like, well, I adjusted it. Now I'm going to go sit back down. And I don't remember what it was 10 seconds ago when it was different. So you can adjust and watch yourself in real time and figure that out. Now I say they are $130 typically. They're about double that right now due to scarcity and demand, mostly due to COVID-19. All that stuff's out. So at their normal price, I highly recommend them so much that we gave it a 10 out of 10 and a editor's choice. Like I
Nice.
found no cons other than they're somewhat unavailable or overpriced due to COVID. So yeah, I
Nice.
love them.
Can you
They're amazing.
Can you turn the one off right now so everybody can see what it looks like without,
Yeah.
like what you would look like without it? Ugh.
So that's with neither, and so that's the side one, right? So you can tell it's not a ton of light on me, and actually I kind of like that look a little too.
It's a little creepy.
Sorry. So then I turn that one off, and that's the single light, and that's
you can see how that secondary light kind of
put it back on. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And really, you kind of notice it especially on this side with the chrome. It illuminates a little differently. So
nice. We'll definitely check out that review. Those are something I've been wanting to get. I do like these overhead lights do a really good job, but sometimes you just like don't want all that on. Like I'm illuminating my entire living room with those lights. I'm obviously with the key lights, and then just to be able to, for certain videos that you might want to shoot or like certain ambiance. Obviously, if I took these only have on and off, there's nothing I can do. So that's
Well, and the only other lights in here right now are the 2 key lights, and then obviously you can see my nano leaf reflecting. It's just in front of me, but it doesn't give off a lot of light. Right? There's a couple of light strips here and there, but they're not adding to the light in the room at all.
Yeah. Derek is in the live stream from Houston. What is up? And of course, M3 Media is in the house. M30.
30 even.
M30 Media. We all know M30 Media. He's in the house as well. So yeah. So you reviewed that. I reviewed an Air CPU cooler. We haven't taken a look at an Air CPU cooler for a while.
I want to hear about these fans because they just look interesting.
It's pretty cool. So this is and if I say this wrong, I'm sorry. I'm going to say it's Appcon Core. It's the company name. It is their CT404B dual sync. It is a tower CPU cooler with dual fans. Both of the fans are RGB and they're designed correctly so that no matter what side you look at the CPU cooler, it's the same, which I really like. But it's a typical tower CPU cooler designed for pretty much all new sockets. The thermal load on it is 170 watts. So most processors, you're not going to put this obviously doesn't support AMD high-end desktop, but besides that, it does support does it do it does support 2011 Intel 2011. So
no Threadripper.
Yeah, no Threadripper on there. So yeah. But yeah, it's a good CPU cooler. It's designed really well. Single tower, as I said, they painted all of the fins black. It's pretty much all black. You have the 2 fans. These fans are really cool. So you have the Appcon Core logo on the fan. You have RGBs inside of the fan, as well as an RGB ring on the outside of the fan. You can see they're obviously, and they go on really easily. So they come with these brackets that you can see here. And when you do your installation, you have to take them off, but they go on and off so easily. If you've ever done air coolers, the fan clips are just so annoying. You cut your finger on the heat sink.
You're poking them with some of them, right? They're that thin wire.
So,
or you feel like you're going to bend the fins too.
Yeah. And I have coolers that I change out all the time from big companies that use those. And like you can tell, like half of the fins are bent a certain way. So these it's really easy, really super easy to do. And this is 4 heat pipes. They're 6mm heat pipes. They are direct touch. So as you can see, they are flattened out and then they'll make direct contact with your CPU. Some people say that this is better heat transfer. Some people disagree, but we've seen good results with these. So as far as installation goes, we did it on AM4. AM4 installation is quite easy. You get this back plate here, which is both for Intel and AMD. You install these little mounts on the back like that. You install it on the back of your motherboard, and you can see that you have your little pulls sticking out here. you install these mounting bars, which are the AM4 mounting bars, on the bottom of the CPU cooler, and then you simply just put it on using the screws that are in the mounting bars to the little mounting poles that you had installed on the back side of your motherboard, and then you put the fans back on. It's that simple. It's really not hard at all. So as far as installation, at least on AM4, very easy for me. Didn't have any issues there. And then, of course, the fans. So the big thing is that you get RGB lighting. RGB
I
lighting.
just like this little hub that holds the fan in place, the blades. It's cool.
What do you mean the hub?
The little arm that goes out.
Oh yeah. That's just cosmetic, obviously.
Okay, so it's a normal fan and just has that on the front. Is that correct?
Oh, that might be
or is that like holding the hub in the center? You know what I mean? Because
I'm not sure.
Like, is that where the motor is and it's all going through there?
Let me go back to page 1 and see what they look like. I could grab it, but I don't want to get up. But
I could grab it, but I don't want to. See how their fan blades are also reversed. Obviously, the bottom one is your normal fan. The top one there is a reverse. Mm-hmm. So I think the motor is in that piece, and all the connections are going there.
You're right, because there's no frame holding
behind it. Right.
Yeah. Okay, so
it's just it's unique. It's cool.
Yeah,
I don't know what it does to performance, but
the one thing that I really liked about this is that when you get a dual fan air cooler, you get 2 fans, and the fans are the exact same.
Yeah.
With this, they're 2 different fans. Here's the intake, here's the exhaust. You can see how the fans are backwards, or technically backwards on this one, because you're pulling instead of pushing, right? Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter. Fans, when they're flipped backwards, they just don't look great. I know you're not typically going to see it, but if you are, this is very thoughtful, in my opinion, that they've done this. They have also made it so you get the logos on each side. You get the proper RGB on both sides of the cooler as well. So I just really like that. So we'll go back to the
Sorry
RGB
to derail.
lighting. You had questions. We're here to answer them. So the RGB lighting is really good. It's 3-pin addressable. There is no controller with this, which is a bit of a bummer, because you will need a motherboard that has a 3-pin. Our motherboard, which is the Asus Prime X470A, does not. So I'd actually connect it to, if you can see in this picture, there's another motherboard over here that's actually running the RGB. So that's a little bit of a bummer, just for the fact that this is 2nd generation Ryzen. It's still pretty current. So, I know all new boards have them, but it doesn't have a controller. It would be nice to have a controller. But you just connect it and it does, it does whatever you want it to do, whatever your software supports. It looks good. And then we go to our performance, and it's not a high-end cooler by any means. Like, it's not crazy. It's like if you look at our Noctuas and stuff, but I think it sits in the higher end on the idle as well as our low temperatures here. Does a really good job. Didn't have really any real issues with it. The noise levels were pretty quiet for dual fan as well. A lot of the other coolers that we tested are single fan, and it did really good job compared to a lot of the other coolers that we tested. So I really like that. The only downsides, like I said, no fan controller, and the thermal paste comes in a bag, and I'm just not a fan of that. That's just like really old school to me. It would be nice to have it come in a syringe so you can apply it easier, especially if you're a beginner. And it's $54.99, which puts it on kind of the mid-range price.
It's quite a bit higher than I figured it'd be.
But you are getting dual RGB fans, and you have to take that into consideration. I know no controller, but I feel like the price is fair based on the performance and dual RGB fans. So this is our first product from them. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I think for our introduction to the company, it's a good product, and it does this job, and it looks good. I think it looks really good. So yeah. So definitely check out that review as well. What you did a 10 out of 10, I did 9 out of 10. So some some good products this week for sure. And that brings us to Case Mod Friday. We have a really, I always say this every week. I'm like, oh, this build's so awesome. But this week we have one that I really like.
Oh, this one's awesome.
Yeah, I do like this one. This one's called Project Kyle.
Okay.
It's from Ben, and this one for me, it just has those colors, it has those lines.
Mhm.
It's just like, you know,
So it's a
just,
Fantex Into case of some
yes,
sort, it looks like.
yeah.
Yep. No,
It's
looks
just,
good.
yeah,
This is the
it's
kind of
just,
build. This is the kind of build that I like, right? It's not that custom frame, custom
yeah.
exterior or scratch build, but it's modified the case itself. That front panel has the slats in it that look really nice. The chrome, all the fittings line
Oh yeah,
up.
look at that! Look
Everything's
at that
straight.
finish.
That mirror, yeah.
Oh
This
yeah, that's
is
sick. Yeah, I do like these. Like I always say that if I would ever really do a crazy build like this, I think this is the style that I would go for. It's just
Oh, those are light. Okay, I thought that those were painted lights when I was
mm,
first looking at this the other day. Those are light reflections. Okay.
yeah, those are reflections. Yeah,
Yep.
but yeah, it's just really, really just like this solid, like just just the quality of this one. I
How long
really
would it
like
take
it.
to like clean this thing up to take pictures too? Like that thing was
Yeah,
fingerprinted like crazy.
yeah, especially like because these are all chrome
Yep.
tubing, and then you have the mirror chrome finish on the water block. Yeah. But yeah, just a solid build here. And like I said, and it's not incredibly crazy, right? It's
No,
not like
those
insane, out of reach for a lot of people. You do have this distro plate in the middle here, which would be a little bit harder for some people, but
what fans
uh
are these?
I don't know. I think they're normal fans that he had
Just
painted.
painted? Because they
Yeah,
look
I'm
pretty
guessing.
cool.
Yeah, they do look really cool. Like silver with the
Silver,
red.
yeah.
Yeah, that looked really cool. But yeah, it's just like I said, good build. Like the colors, everything goes together. So check this one out. This one is by Fen, and of course, we always try to link to either their website or their Facebook. So we have a link to his Facebook. He has a ton of other builds. This is actually a system that he built for somebody. So if you're looking for something like this, I'm sure you can reach out to him. I don't believe he's in the United States though. But yeah, definitely check that one out for sure. Um,
That's a good idea,
Paul
Paul.
says that, yeah, he says I wear nitrate gloves. That's actually a good idea. I probably should do that when I review cases.
Oh, I know.
Uh,
Cases you're like taking pictures and editing later, and you're like, oh man, I got
yeah,
fingerprints all over this thing.
yeah. So we have a new contest this week as well. So our Asus B550 board we just picked the winner. He did emails back. He's in Florida. So we will be sending him out his prize. But we have a new contest where you can win a Patriot Viper VPN 100 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD. This is their high performance NVMe SSD. I think it's 30. What is this? 33 33 megabytes a second read and 22 megabytes a second write. So definitely super fast, definitely a nice upgrade if you're running a normal 2.5 inch SSD. A bunch of entries already. This dropped today. We already have a bunch, but this will run for 30 days. So you guys have a ton of time to get your entries in. But there's a ton of different ways to enter, all that kind of stuff. So obviously every month we try to give you guys something back. So check that one out. It is on the main page of the website right now. You can also click on contests, and it's the first one there. So yeah,
Nice.
thank you, Patriot, for hooking us up with that. And we might be able to get more than one. I've asked them to give us more than one. So we have one for
Cool.
right now, but they might give us one more. So we'll see about that as well. And that brings us to news this week. And we got an interesting teaser from Nvidia, and we haven't heard from Nvidia about their launch and what it might be, and what are the cards going to be called. And then all of a sudden they put this thing out on Twitter a few days ago. That's this video that looks like some type of an explosion or something. That's all it is, and it just says ultimate countdown, #ultimate countdown. Now, if you went to their Twitter account, it had this picture right here that says the ultimate countdown, 21 days, 21 years. And it's interesting that at the time, 21 days from the date that this was posted would be August 31st, 2020, which is the anniversary of the announcement of the GeForce 256. GeForce 256 is what Nvidia considers the first real graphics card, right?
Yep. 3D graphics card.
Yeah, 3D graphics card. And what's kind of funny is that 21 years ago it was manufactured on the 220 nanometer process.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, and it had 32 megabytes of RAM. And it was actually the actual release date was October 11th, 1999. So if we think about this, that's a little bit farther than we were expecting for this. Again, 21 days, 21 years. Now this is an interesting thing. Some people are saying that we're not going to get a 3080 Ti or 3080. It could be called the 2180 for 21 years. What do you think about that?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I honestly don't think, but a lot of people are saying
I think they'll go 3000.
Yeah, I think
they did that. We had the 10 series, right? 20 series. I don't think they're going to change it to 21.
Yeah, I don't.
To me, 21 would be a reiteration of what we currently have. 3000 series is new tech. So,
yeah, I agree with that. Now, again, the GeForce 256 was announced on August 31st and released October 11th. We expect an announcement August 31st, and then cards should come out sometime in September, I'm guessing. Yeah. Some people are saying the end of the first week. We don't know. But we do have confirmation. This is confirmation from Nvidia that something is happening on August 31st, and that's exciting. We've told you rumors over the past few months. We now have a date. We know on the 31st we're going to get something. So I feel that's exciting. I feel pretty excited about this one, actually, more than I think I should be. I don't know why, but I feel excited.
I mean, it's something to look forward to, right? We've been kind of in this, not a slump, but we didn't have a Computex, and it's just something new coming out. So, I mean, I'm sure that adds to it. It's still exciting news no matter what, right? But yeah, you sound like you're kind of pumped up for this.
I'm pretty pumped. I mean, like, if the
claims we've seen or the rumors, right? These percentages.
Well, we've seen that, and then the GeForce 256 was this breakthrough graphics card at the time. Yeah. Could we actually get better performance? Maybe better cost too. Like we could go back to our normal pricing.
No,
I mean, you think about it, because if you think about it, Intel, their high-end desktop parts were like they went up double in price, and then they reversed it now where they're the same price they used to be. So
that's true.
I don't see that happening, honestly, but in any case, August 31st, we will keep you guys up to date, and the more that comes out, we will definitely let you know. Paul said he hopes to see a Poseidon card from Asus. I would assume they've done one I think they've done one every generation, so that would be really cool. And talking about custom design cards, is that a new leak has come out that says, see, look at that RTX. Oh, you muted yourself. I was going to say RTX voice. You wouldn't have got your cough in there.
I muted just in case.
Okay. But anyways, custom design cards could launch with Founders Edition. So with NVIDIA graphics cards, we always see a Founders or Reference Edition card launch first, and then sometimes it can be weeks, sometimes it can be months later until we see custom cards. Yeah. It's all in what NVIDIA allows their board partners to do. Now, this is to say that we could see, I mean, more than likely see custom cards. This ROG Strix, we talked about it all the way back in June. This slide was leaked, meaning that they're pretty much ready with their designs. They're ready to go. So we could see it at launch, if not right after. This story comes from Tweaktown, and they have two sources from, I assume, board partners that say that they will be ready in September. Like, these designs will be ready in September. So very, at least if not at launch, very close to launch. That's exciting for me because as much as I love Founders Editions, I love custom cards.
Yeah.
You get your factory overclocks, you get your better cooling solutions, you get quieter cards, you of course get better, you get RGB lighting, you get all this cool stuff. And if you like a certain brand, you obviously like wait for that card. If you're an Asus, you always wait for the Strix, as we can see here. Like, if you're an Aorus, you wait for that Aorus card. Like, so I'm excited for this. This is probably another reason why I'm pretty excited, because we get custom cards close to launch.
The cool thing,
go ahead.
No, I'm just talking about the custom, and excited for the aftermarkets and Founders. This year's this model, the Founders Edition cooling though is like totally different, right? Or at least we're assuming. So that's kind of another cool piece that I guess to look forward to, and kind of does something a little different that these aftermarket cards don't have.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I do like the Founders Editions, the way they look. I think when the 10 series really started that, right?
Yeah, they kind of changed that up, and it looked better than what we had known as a Founder Series card for a while.
Yeah, because and we all know the AMD reference cards were just.
Well, I like that little glowing square and the metal shroud around it. But
but so we'll see. Obviously, this is like the big news this week. I know I'm excited. So we'll definitely keep you guys up to date on this as more comes out. So it is pretty exciting, I think. So another interesting news is there's a leaked slide that came out, and I don't know the last time I really heard Intel Atom in the news.
Oof. I mean, I got an old netbook that has an Atom in it.
Yeah, so you haven't heard the Intel Atom branding for a long time, and this leaked slide came out that you can see here, which is an Intel Atom with up to 24 cores.
Okay.
Which
interesting for the Atom.
Up to 2.6 gigahertz, which makes sense. 2-channel DDR5 PCI Express 4.0 support. This is supposed to be made for enterprise equipment like servers, NAS, network infrastructure, hardware. Very interesting. And if this is supposed to be built on 7 nanometers, so this is not something you'll see till 2022, but it does seem like Intel could be rebranding Atom as something else, as something maybe like a high core count,
but still low power.
Yeah, high core count, low power, something that would run in a high-end network product, or something that would work in a something that's running multiple displays, like in a, I don't know, like in a McDonald's. You know what I mean? Like the digital displays,
the menu boards and stuff.
Yeah, something but high core count, so you could do a lot of things at once. It is, like I said, when I heard this, I was like, this is not a real story. It's an Atom,
Yeah. No, I think, and you look at like the network connectivity, for, what does it look like? I'm trying to see. I can't really tell in this picture because of the text over it. It looks like 4 100 or 20 50 25 10 5 or 2.5 gig Ethernet. Four fast Ethernet, and then also up to 50 gig. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and again, this would
100
be
gig of full duplex throughput. It's very cool.
This is probably at least 2 years out, but it would be nice to see, because when you talk about enterprise and you talk about these other things, you don't have a whole lot of options. And if Intel can position this to where it's a lot of the enterprise stuff doesn't need high power. They need a lot of cores, but they might not need a whole lot of horsepower, if that makes any sense. And they need low power. So this would be a way to do it. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool to see. So we'll obviously keep you guys updated on this as well. But we have the whole slide if you guys want to check it out. Kind of everything that it offers. This is a leak slide. This is not confirmed by Intel. So you can take this with a grain of salt, but it looks pretty real, and based on the source, it more than likely could be real. So yeah, like I said, it is interesting. Another weird
I don't
thing.
get this one at all.
Yeah, I don't get this. Intel might release Avengers themed CPUs. These Avengers edition Intel 10th generation CPUs were spotted on some different online stores. They're called the KA series, with the A standing for Avengers. Spotted was a Core i5 10600 KA, Core i7 10700 KA, Core i9 10850 KA, and Core i9 10900 KA. I get that Intel needs something to market their products. I just don't think the Avengers of all things is it.
We're not leading up to a new Avengers movie, other than I don't know if Black Widow isn't technically an Avengers titled movie. She's obviously part of that environment, but yeah, we're not on the heels or leading up to one. I don't get this at all.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for Intel. I would say that we don't know if these chips are real. We don't know if the clocks are different. You would expect, if it's a special edition, to at least maybe have like a little bit of a clock bump, maybe 50 megahertz.
50 megahertz.
You're not going to get much more out of these
some
chips.
Cooler, the stock cooler looks a little different.
So they're just
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, but I don't see what the play on this is at all.
Yeah, I don't see Intel's thing on this. Maybe it's like I think this is in Vietnam. HanoiComputer.vn is in Vietnam. So maybe
sometimes you see some of those tie-ins, right, in those other markets.
Yeah, it's in a different market. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for Intel to be doing that. So whatever. See these floating around. It's just a weird play for Intel. But talking about Intel, if you wanted to get a 9th generation chip, they have been discounted. Finally, I feel like they should have been, since we have.
It was like 9 series has been out for a while too.
Yeah. So yeah, this comes from Tom's Hardware. Promotional price drop. It says because there's strong demand right now in the DIY market. I think there is. Just because a lot of people are building computers because a lot of people are stuck at home or have to be working from home. And if you're going to get a new computer, why not build a nice one that you can also play games on instead of work as well? So the Core i9 or 9900K is $435.99 right now. An i7 9700K is $340, and an i5 9600K is $193. Pretty decent discounts there. So if you want to build a 9 series or 9th generation Intel rig, which is totally a good rig for sure, you can go ahead and do that. Definitely. It's just weird that the price drops happen now instead of before the 10th gen.
Before the 10 came out, or right at launch date.
Yeah. But no, they kept the prices.
You don't want to scavenge your 10th gen sales by doing it at the same time, but it still feels like
Yeah. So if you want to pick this up, the deals are on Amazon as well as Newegg. That is in the US. I don't know if it's different if you guys are in other countries. So just, check that out if you want to build a new system. I haven't built a new system. I mean, I have the 10th gen stuff, but I feel like I need to build a new system for some reason. I don't know. Talking about CPUs, AMD, this is not incredibly surprising. According to Mercury Research, during Q2 2020, AMD hit an overall 18.3 share in the x86 CPU market. That includes desktop mobility and server CPU market. That's the highest it's been since Q4 2013. That's very impressive. That's pretty awesome. I think it says it hit its all-time high figures for mobile chipsets at 19.9. So it's Ryzen-based laptops of the 4000 series of that 4000H is really killing it if you can get it, because there's a shortage on it right now because everybody wants it. That's pretty impressive. I think we've heard these stories and we've seen AMD really do what they need to do in the CPU market. I can't say I'm disappointed at all.
Just looking really quick to see what AMD's market share was in like pre-Ryzen, right?
Yeah.
See how much that has changed and how much they've gained in the last 4 years since we've had Ryzen come out. I'm guessing it's gone up quite a bit, right? That pendulum has started to swing back the other way. Now, will it ever get to 50%? I don't think so, but
I think we have seen some stores that they have aimed like their like a enthusiast store. I forget the one in Germany where AMD did eclipse Intel on desktop CPU sales. We have seen that over the past year, especially when Ryzen 3000 series came out. So
yeah, I mean, especially in the enthusiast market, I think that pendulum is probably a lot closer to 50% than just overall, because again, you look at like system integrators, Dell, these huge companies, like it's so much more prevalent to see Intel chips in all of these systems as opposed to AMD. Not that you can't get an AMD in some of them, but that they're just such a high percentage of Intel.
And they've built those relationships for years and years and years, and it's very hard for them to, if you have built that relationship, it's really hard for you to change to AMD on certain SKUs and certain products and things like that. So, but good for AMD. They're doing great things. I think that hopefully they'll push more into the laptop market, because that's where they're not. I mean, it's obviously not the same as the desktop. Desktop, they're doing a lot better job than mobile, but keep it going, and we'll see what these next couple of years bring. But next story is a little sad. I feel it's a little sad. Toshiba has completely exited the laptop business.
Yep.
They
more satellites.
What?
Toshiba Satellite. That's like one of their big models of laptop. No more.
Toshiba previously sold 80.1% of its shares in Dynabook Incorporated to Sharp, and then they finally transferred the remaining 19.9 shares this past week. So they're completely out of the laptop business, which is kind of crazy considering Toshiba's been making laptops since 1985. Have you ever owned a Toshiba? No.
And to be honest, like every one of them that I've interacted with, because I've known people that have had them and I've just seen them in the wild, I was like, this to me was like, oh well.
My roommate in college had a Toshiba Satellite.
Okay.
I didn't really get to interact with it. I don't think I did one time at CES. This was like years ago. Toshiba. I went to Toshiba booth and they had some really cool laptop stuff at the time, and this was 2009, 8.
Okay.
I don't know. It was a long time ago. But yeah, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad to see just a company that has been doing that for so long kind of just be like, it's not worth it. But I can see how, the margins the margins have to be so low on laptops.
Yeah. Yes and no, because you see like some of these laptops that you'll see like the Walmart brand laptops and they sell for like $200 and some, and you look at the components in there and you're like, well, this isn't like horrible, but it's so cheap. And so you go up a couple levels, if you go from 4 gigs of memory to 8 or 16, like that's not a huge price increase. And then you just like some of it, I don't know.
But then you also have like the big customer service departments that you have to fund and all that, right? That's where I think it gets to you, is the big customer service stuff. So anywho, Toshiba is
Derek says we're dating ourselves on the Toshiba laptops. I don't know if he means that we're old or we're young. Toshiba was the shiz in the early 2000s before IBM sold to Lenovo. Maybe so, right?
Yeah, I don't
know. Back
I
in the day,
don't
I'm trying to think of what laptops.
again, my
I
roommate in college had a Toshiba. I've never had one. I think his was good. It was good, but I haven't really interacted. My first laptop ever was a Dell XPS laptop, which I forget which Nvidia, but it was like I wanted it because so I could play games on it, but then I never played games on it because I had an
I've done
actual
that a couple
PC.
times. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. I'm
so
like, oh, when I go to LAN parties or when I'm on the road, and I like, man, never end
yeah.
up playing games with them. And I always wish I have something thinner and lighter.
Yeah. So, anyways, RIP to Toshiba in the laptop business. Sad to see, but probably made sense for them, especially considering. Oh, I don't know, because I guess the laptop, like the surge for laptops, is pretty big right now because a lot of people have to work from home, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So this company we've never heard of sent us over this press release about their keyboard, which I thought is pretty cool. I don't know how practical it is, but I thought we could talk about it for a second.
Yep.
Angry Mayo.
Sure.
They have a keyboard called the Cyberboard. They're calling it the first mechanical keyboard with a custom LED panel. They're selling it on Indiegogo. You can see the different designs and what you can do with this LED panel. It's kind of cool. But at the same time, we've seen here's the reason I want to talk about this. We've seen so many keyboards with displays, or just like the new Corsair Nexus with has a display. How often are you looking down at the keyboard to see these things?
Nope.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
especially like, I don't know. On this, I almost think it's those displays, and I'm gonna call them pixels, right? Of those LEDs are big enough that you could maybe convey direction or health status in just a large bar, right? But I'm not going to be looking down at it. But I can see the top of my keyboard when I'm looking straight at my screen. Like I could tell if it was green or red down there. So
Yeah,
maybe an indicator like that. But that's not what they're trying to do here
this
at
is
all.
on the top
And the
edge,
back kind of it looks angled, right?
is this like just for streamers, right? So they can interact with their fans, just like that Razer microphone where the one side has the emotes on it or whatever.
But then you'd have to have your, like, I know some people have the top down camera to show their, like Dr. Lupo and Shroud. Sometimes they'll show, their keyboard and mouse. I guess that could go there. Plus, like, in front of my keyboard is my monitor. Nobody's sitting on that side and looking at this because on the clock one, for example, right, the white with yellow, they're showing 2200. Well, it reads that if you're on the other side of the keyboard.
That's what I mean. So it's a little weird.
I don't know.
Let me see.
Do you know how much it is?
No, but we can. Oh, their website doesn't work. That's always good.
Oh, that's good.
Let's see if their website. Oh, website. I don't know. Their website doesn't work. Let's see if we can find them on the web somewhere. They have Facebook. Let's see.
Yeah. Do they have any other
they have
keyboards?
this weird. They have this weird picture, which
okay.
No.
Or it's like, nope, they just started their Facebook page.
Yeah, on March 24th.
In March.
So that's a little weird.
That's a good time to start a business.
Yeah. It apparently it's won a Red Dot Award design, China's leading tech brands. But in any case, I love stuff like this. I really do. But for the extra cost, it's just not practical.
I do like that purple one.
That's cool. Yeah. It's just
okay. Maybe I do like this.
Yeah. It's cool. It's going to look cool. It's going to make you feel cool, but it's not practical. It doesn't help you as a gamer do anything. It would be cool if it you're in the dark and it like lights up around your keyboard, because those have to be decently bright if they're pixels.
I don't even think this is like branded towards gamers.
It's not. I
mean, it's mechanical, right? Okay, so that's maybe one thing. But yeah, this is almost like a showpiece, a show off,
Well, if
obviously.
you're like me and you're on the mechanical keyboards every day, this is right up everybody's alley. I think this is something that those people want. And I do like all the different designs. Like if you look at it, like the cases do match the keycaps on a lot of these. You know what I mean? And you have different keycaps.
That yellow one. Look at all the keys. They're just dots.
Yeah, that's very popular with a lot of people.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're not into.
I'm not. Yeah, my mechanical.
I
don't have these custom keyboards like you, Bob.
I know. I've been wanting to. My buddy just bought a ducky, and he just bought custom key. He's like the happiest person ever. But in any case, I think it's cool, but it's just not practical. I would love to know the price, but since their website doesn't work, we can't tell you that, and they don't actually link the Indiegogo. Oh wait, here it is. Sorry, maybe they do.
Oh, it's on Indiegogo. Okay.
Let's see. 410.
Oh,
and that's 40% off.
I'm good.
USB Type C, it looks like. That is expensive. And that's the gray version.
410,
410.
Purple haze.
Oh, geez.
Plus, it's at that angle, and can you adjust it? Does it have feet on the bottom, I wonder?
Yeah, that's just... It is really cool.
It looks cool, but
I've reviewed a few products that have these
limited
panels.
Edition was $500.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Does this say inspired by Cybertruck? Oh, it does. Ugh.
Okay, I'm not super. I mean, it's already.
If it wasn't,
it's 574% backed, so people want it apparently. Now, we do have to warn that Indiegogo, GoFundMe, and what's the other one? Kickstarter. We have seen products where people just collect money, and then they never make the product, and then.
I had one where I thought I was, and I hadn't spent a ton on it. It was like 100 and some for this device, but it turned out to be a dud. Like, I'm not happy with it, but they did ship it. But for a while, like for 6 months, they're like,
and that's the thing.
We're having issues and blah blah blah. But I've backed multiple Kickstarters and stuff, and I've always gotten what I ordered. I've never been unlucky and gotten hosed.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, I want it now, but it's not a product. Like this is in the prototype phase, which is kind of. I know they do this to gauge popularity and see if people actually want it, which makes sense because you can build all these and then nobody buys them, and then you've lost a ton of money. It's just sometimes it's scary, and again, you want it right then. Like you want it when you buy whichever one of these you do. You want it right then, but you're not going to get it for a while. I don't know if they say when they're going to ship it. CNC, though, the entire casing is CNC aluminum. That's probably why it's.
I mean, it's high end, materials.
Yeah. No, it doesn't say when it's going to ship, but I think it's cool. We have the link in the article if you guys want to check it out. If they send one to review, I'd gladly take a look at it. But $500 for a keyboard, I wouldn't say that's for a really nice keyboard. That's not crazy expensive. But for most of us who just use $100 to $150 gaming keyboards, that is decently expensive. So talking about another interesting product, a gaming chair. I really like this one. If you're a Doom fan, you're gonna love this. So Noble Chairs just came out with their Doom edition of their Hero gaming chair. I've seen so many, gaming teams, different gaming chairs, but this one I feel just looks. I mean, look at that; that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I like the Doom logo. I do like that Doom logo, right? Like, I'm a fan of it. In fact, like I'm a fan of Filthy Casual as well, and I have the little Doom pin. That's
nice.
But so I do like that design. I'm not a big fan of like the flashy graphics and everything. But
yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I don't know the price of the $500.
Yeah, I mean, Noble chairs are a little more expensive typically.
Yeah,
but I think they're a little nicer. They're probably all made in the same factory. Honestly, maybe not, but
yeah. But like I said, I this is like if you're a Doom fan, like that's pretty cool.
You gotta be pretty into Doom to get a chair.
Yeah.
Especially one with the pentagram on the back, I guess.
Yeah, that is very true. Very, very true. So we have that for you, and then finally, EA Access. So that is their game subscription service. EA has been moving a lot of their titles from Origin to Steam, and now EA Access will be coming to Steam. So again, it's $4.99 a month or $30 a year. You get access to EA titles as well as perks and DLCs, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it's kind of funny to see EA moving away from Origin and going back to Steam. We've seen the backlash of Steam users go, from the Epic Game Store. I don't know what their motivations is for going back to Steam, because I mean, I don't have an issue with Origin. We use it. But hey, if you're going to bring all your services over to Steam, I think Steam users do appreciate that, because most of us, the majority of our games are on Steam.
Yeah.
Right. So
yes, but I've been steadily growing my Epic Game Store library with all those free games. But yes, most of my paid games, things like that, are in my Steam library.
Yeah. So like I said, it's good if you're a Steam user, just get all your stuff there. But yeah, and let's see what else we got. I think that's all for news this week. Not a whole lot going on, but the Nvidia stuff is the big stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. So we'll move on to what we have coming up next week. I didn't finish my review of the ASRock Z490 Extreme 4. Very close. I was just overclocking today. I'm almost done with it. So we will have that for you guys, and then we'll have a portable SSD, one of the small ones that I love. But this one is made by HP. USB 3.1 Gen 2, or it says 3.1, but it's 3.2 Gen 2, because you have to call it 3.2, even though it's 3.1.
Even manufacturers can't get it straight, right?
Yeah, so it's an interesting little drive. The only thing I don't like about it is that the casing is like plasticky, which we'll talk about next week on the review. But performance is good, so we'll have that for you guys as well. We might have some other stuff. I've been working on a lot of video content, but I haven't finished it yet. So stay tuned for that stuff as well. Some cool stuff there. I talked about going out to dinner, but have you done anything? No,
I think I talked about the drone that I got last week, didn't I? Yeah.
Yes.
Did. So I used that a little bit this weekend, a little more. Shot some video, edited it, like you're saying. Looking around, seeing is there anything new in here? I don't think so. I thought you froze up for a second.
No, I did not. I was
intently staring.
I'll be like, Shellback Tech said Ballistics is consolidating their media pages to crucial memory only. That's interesting.
Yeah, I saw that on I think Instagram.
So Ballistics is going away?
Something like that.
That's interesting. So we've seen this. So this has been a thing that we've seen over the past, 5-6 years. Is all of these companies we've known Crucial, that Ballistics is their enthusiast or gaming brand, but we've seen all these companies come out with gaming brands like Patriot. So like we're doing that contest with Patriot. Viper is their gaming brand. It's called Patriot Viper, but there's also like Viper Gaming. And a lot of these companies have either gone fully with the gaming brand, completely separated, just like HyperX. It's Kingston. Kingston owns HyperX, but now they're calling all their gaming products HyperX only. There's no Kingston in front of it, which is really it's really interesting. So then we've seen companies go back. So we saw Gigabyte with Aorus, right? Their motherboards and graphics card were called Aorus only, like they were called Aorus, no Gigabyte. Now they've gone back and it's the Gigabyte Aorus Z490, whatever, or Gigabyte Aorus B550, whatever. It's really interesting how they try to go separate and they don't get whatever they're looking for, and they come back. But Shellback Tech says that the brand remains, but the media pages are under one banner now. That kind of makes sense. It is kind of hard when you do that too. to manage all of those different entities and what you're going to put out on each one.
Yeah, like saying they want Crucial first and then Ballistics being kind of like a Strix or a ROG line, which I've always felt like that Crucial has kind of been that way anyways. I always, when I think of it in my head, I'm like Crucial Ballistics.
Yeah, but you were talking about your drone. I interrupted you by reading our chat.
Just had it out filming us, and then I said, "Yeah, I'm just looking around." I did some more 3D printing, some accessory stuff for the drone case this weekend, and yeah, I got to work out some kinks though, because like I don't know, the bed stuff's coming off of the bed and causing it to warp on the bottom and not be flat.
I always thought I wanted a 3D printer, and then I was like, "What am I going to really print? Like, what am I?"
I mean, I've printed like absolutely nothing useful, really. But just
my one buddy from I can't think.
Let's see if we can get this to go into focus. If it'll focus on me. So a QuakeCon keycap, right? I put it on my Escape. So when like the last QuakeCon I went to, which was what 2017, I think, I printed up just a ton of them and was handing them out. So I was in the Discord for that, and I was like, "Hey, come find me at this chair and come get a QuakeCon keycap." Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I just my buddy had printed me holders. Wes Compton from Lano C. He 3D printed me holders for memory. So when you review memory, I just have them stacks in there. Yeah. Which is really nice. So it just that's the only thing.
Not a Pi case I printed.
Oh yeah, you had showed me that.
And this was like see how it's curved on the bottom? That's supposed to be flat. So I don't know what's happening because all the other layers end up straight like it's supposed to. But for some reason, the bottom on this one and then on this other thing I printed for the drone, it did the same thing. But like the higher layers, it didn't affect the layers up above. So I don't know what's going on. I hadn't used it in a while. I don't know if it's a filament issue or something with the material I'm using on the bed. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been working on reviews, working on video stuff. You guys can't see it obviously, but behind me is like these white walls that I need to do something to get a better background in my videos. I've been kind of messing around with that. And then there's no more hockey for me. Penguins lost, so they're out of the playoffs, which I'm kind of
didn't the season just start?
Well, no, it's not the season. It was like there's 30 or 31 teams. They had 26 in a qualifying round. And then once the qualifying round was over, the playoffs start, if that makes sense. So it's more or less like a tournament.
Okay.
So they lost. So they lost the qualifying round, so they don't even get to go into the playoff. But I still been watching it. There's like games on every day, which is like it's crazy the amount of hockey you can watch because there's like 3 games a day or something like that, which is pretty crazy. So, in any case, we will be gaming after this. So there is. What's the event called?
It's a limited time mode. It was I forget. It's like Always Be Closing, I think. Okay. Right, kind of off of I forget the movie now. Coffees for Closers and with, Alec Baldwin, isn't it?
ABC Always Be Closing. Yeah, I can't think of it. But yeah, so we'll be over
Glenn Ross.
Yeah. We'll be what's it called? Streaming. We will be streaming over on Twitch, twitch.tv/ThinkComputers, playing Apex Legends. I think our buddy Shinny, will he be joining us? Maybe.
I don't know. I think so. I talked to him a little bit today, but not about that.
Yeah,
I didn't even ask. He's online, so we'll see.
Yeah, Shellback Tech said stuff about the background for stuff. I'm renting right now, so. But once I move, and I won't be here long. But I just want to get some. It's more like lighting than anything else back there. But you'll see it in a couple of upcoming videos that I have been shooting. So, but yeah, guys, join us over on Twitch. We can talk about all of that stuff, and you can watch me and Ryan try to be good at gaming. Playing. What?
I was doing pretty well last night. Like I said, I played some last night, and whether it's because I was solo or what, but I mean, I had a couple rounds where I was kill leader and doing well. Like, yeah, it was great.
Okay, so we'll take that and we'll go over to Twitch, and we'll get some gaming on. So thanks everybody who joined us in the live stream. We always appreciate you guys coming in, and
Yep.
we have a lot of fun talking tech with everybody. As I always say, ThinkComputers, all one word, on your favorite podcasting app or software, so you can go ahead and subscribe to the audio, and we will see you guys